Welcome to the Rondinelli Project. I'm Mr. R, and the question is, are you a creative person? And if you are, how do you channel your creativity? I'm looking for more creators out there like me to share ideas, build a community. Let's start a conversation around this content. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. So, when it comes to the outdoors, I spend a lot of time with nature, hunting, fishing, observing, which often leads to my creative endeavors. It might be an idea for a film, a photograph, a painting, or a sculpture. When I'm out there, I witness so many unique and strikingly beautiful things in nature that I'm frequently on creative overload. If you're like me, I have so many ideas and visions stored in my head that I want to share with others, that the only way for me to get them out of my head is to create them. Believe me, creativity can be a curse. So today I'm going to share my passion for creating wildlife art and why I create. Why do you create? So if you've stayed with me this long, maybe you're willing to go a little bit further and share your process as well. Here's mine. This is just an example. Don't be too critical. I'm not a trained artist. In the art circles, I'm not even remotely accomplished. Ever since I was young, and by young, we're talking 5 years old, I picked up a pencil and I could draw. I'm self-taught, I guess. No, you know what? That's a lie. I'm not self-taught. I can just do this. But I can't explain to you why I can do this. I guess I have a natural ability. I get my talent from my mother's side of the family. My mom was a fantastic artist. I guess I inherited that from her, if that makes any sense. But you don't need to be good at drawing to have a creative process. This is how I can get what's in my head out on paper to get ideas or advance a concept. So, I'm partial to Labrador Retrievers. They're an outdoor dog, they're a sporting dog. It's all part of my makeup, I guess, but we'll come back to this drawing. This is just a simple drawing to get an idea down. When I was fishing, I saw this great blue heron, and I got this idea for a painting, even though I was fishing, and I had to create it. So here's what came out of that. Here's the painting. That was in my head from that fishing trip, but I wasn't just thinking about fishing. And that's the process of what goes on. It's chaotic. It's really, really, really chaotic. But it's how I see things and how I make the connection with nature and wildlife and my God-given talent, or whatever you want to call it. I suppose if you were to look inside my brain, it would just look like a giant scribble. One idea runs into another and another and another. It just transcends everything you want to do. I guess I'm ADHD. I can't keep my thoughts focused for very long because something else pops in there and you have to create it. I might catch a fish and suddenly my mind is looking in the eye of the fish, seeing the colorations, and how can I paint that? How can I reproduce that? I know, it's weird, but it's just what I do. So here's another example of my process. I saw some bluebirds hunting one day, eastern bluebirds, and there was something striking about the color when the sun was shining, the iridescence and the color of the blue. And that's all it took. I had to create something. I had to come up because of the color blue. And that's, I don't tell anybody that, but that's trying to look at my process here. And I got this image in my head, and so I did my research, and I watched them coming to nesting boxes, and that was the process that led to this. So what do? If you're a creative person, and What is it that motivates you? A lot of times for me, it's color. Color is really important in my process of creation, especially connections to wildlife and what I do with that. I don't always work in the two-dimensional world either. Lately, I've been working on fish replicas that I taught myself, that was quite an adventure, and I always wanted to do that, and it's another way that I connect with nature and my process of doing that. It's pretty cool, and it's how I get that urge to get whatever I see in my head out into something tangible that someone else can enjoy, and that's why I do this. It's I don't sell any of this stuff generally. I haven't sold one fish sculpture. It's not a sales pitch. You know, I'm not trying to sell anything. This is good for the soul. It's what collects in your mind, and you have this urge to create it. So that's what this video is about. I want to connect with other people that like to create things. So, you know, let me know what you think, and let's start a dialogue. It's certainly what my channel's all about. You know, I like to hunt, I like to fish, I like to paint, I like to sculpt, I like to take photographs, I like to make films. I mean, this video is a creative process. And I've been thinking about it for quite a few days, and I had to do it. You know, it probably won't get many views, but that's okay. There might be one person out there that it connects with, and maybe they'll connect with me. Heck, I had a guy from Ukraine in the middle of the war who connected with me over my fish replicas because he was trying to learn how to do it, and that was pretty cool. I hope he's okay. I haven't heard back from him for a while. So here's that little sketch of a lab with a duck. I had to get it out of my head. That was clear back in 2014. So let's wrap this up. And I'd like to hear from anybody out there that is creative, that loves nature, is an angler, hunts, whatever it is you do, but share your creative process because it's good for the soul. You know, my daughter and my son-in-law had a beautiful German Shepherd. Her name was Sable, and unfortunately, she passed away due to cancer. And I was able to create a portrait of that dog for my daughter and son-in-law, and that meant a lot to them. I know it did, and it was something I had to do, but it was a creative process that I think is important. Art is a great way to convey emotion. The process is important. And to finish up, you know, I'm not Picasso, and I'm not Salvador Dali, and I'm not Michelangelo, and I'm never going to be Leonardo da Vinci. This is just what I do, and I like doing it, and it's a way for me to get what's inside my head out for people to see. You know, art is from the soul, and it says a lot about a person, what they do, what they create. So if you're like me and you share the same passion, I'd like to hear from you and see what it is you do. Everybody has a process. Everybody's process is different, and that's why I shared mine. And I'd like to see what your process is for the people out there that like nature and enjoy the outdoors and hunt and fish and hike and have and create channels like this one. That's what this is all about, the process. So, hey, I'm Mr. R, and this is the Rondinelli Project. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Shoot me your comments, your ideas, your process. And with that being said, we gone, because it's time to go harvest the dough in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.